Everybody. On September 14th, an unimaginable tragedy occurred at a childcare centre in Richmond Hill. In one tragic instant, as a car crashed into a building, we lost 17-month-old Liam Riazati. In Liam's honour, we are investing $20 million to launch the Liam Riazati Memorial Fund. This is a new initiative to help protect children in childcare by helping community-based licensed facilities install concrete barriers. These barriers can provide an extra layer of protection for children, especially in places like plazas, places of worship, and residential buildings. Now, starting in early 2026, community-based childcare operators will be able to access a simple application process that will make it easy for them to arrange the delivery and installation of the barriers that will be supplied free of charge. This investment will provide safety support in the short term while the province examines long-term strategies to upgrade safety requirements across our childcare sector. We will be consulting with experts to help update childcare centre guidelines and inform future policy. This work will help identify best practices for indoor and outdoor play spaces, reduce risk, and ensure that operators have clear standards to protect the children they care for every day. Now, we will continue to take action to make sure every licensed childcare program is a safe place for children and for staff. Thank you, and I'll now invite Minister Parsa to say a few words.
Well, good morning, everyone. Today, we honor the memory of Liam Riazati, a 17-month-old boy from Richmond Hill. Liam's life was taken away in a tragic incident that should have never happened. Our hearts go out to Liam's parents and his family. A few days after the incident, Liam's mom spoke some words that I will personally never forget. She said, "We had been waiting for so long for an angel to be born into our lives. 17 months, just 17 months. We lived, we loved, and then everything ended." I can't even imagine what the Riazati family is going through right now. They're in my thoughts, they're in my prayers, and they have my deepest sympathies. People from across Richmond Hill and neighboring communities reached out to Liam's parents and to the families of others who were also injured on that terrible day. They offered messages of love, of compassion, and concerns. And I thank each and every one of them for showing all of us that we are a caring community. The staff of First Roots Early Education Academy and all of the first responders who took action also deserve our thanks. As lawmakers, we too must take action to make sure that tragedies like this never happen again. So I'm very grateful to Minister Calandra and everyone involved for introducing enhanced safety measures to better protect children and childcare staff. So Liam's parents may take some small comfort in knowing that his name will forever be remembered in our province. The Liam Riazati Memorial Fund will play a critical role in making Ontario's childcare centres safer and more secure across the province. Families deserve the peace of mind that comes from knowing that their children are safe in childcare facilities, and I believe that this fund will make a positive and long-lasting difference. Thank you all.
Okay. Can take any questions? Yeah.
Minister, going forward, when they build new childcare centres, are they going to have the barriers? Is there going to be funding for them? And then the second question, I might as well get it now. The second question is, so you're not just looking at barriers, you're looking also at interior upgrades that are required, and is there funding for that?
Yeah, this is a good question. This is really just the start. The $20 million is just the start so that we can get to some of the most challenging locations right away. We'll be consulting with the sector to look at ways of improving safety and security outside and inside. Ultimately, I think in the long term, we're going to be looking at bollards and different ways of protecting the childcare centres. But we will work with the industry to see what form that takes. But as I said, the $20 million is the first step. There will be more, obviously, that is required to ensure the safety and security of all childcare centres across the province, and including in where we have schools as well.
Minister, so is that also interior safety precautions that maybe have to be taken, or?
This is more for the exterior playgrounds and parking lots. right now, and that's what this fund will address. The $20 million, as I said, is just an immediate infusion of funding so that we can get after some of the most challenging locations as soon as possible.
How did you decide on the $20 million, and if it's not enough, will you put a bit more money in?
Of course, yeah. The $20 million really is a start. We wanted to be able to get out there and look at those locations that have the most pressing needs and get them. These are going to be concrete barriers, so it will do a lot of. There's a lot that we can do at $20 million, frankly, on concrete barriers. But the longer-term solution in many areas is probably going to be bollards and different mechanisms. So it'll be different at every center, but this is a good way to start.
I have a question for Minister Parsa. Sure. About a year ago, you announced that you would be auditing the child welfare system, and I'm just wondering, you said it would be out by spring 2025. So what is the status of it, and will these results be made public?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we made that commitment early on that we will be making the results public. We have now, just days ago, received the report back. Some societies needed more time to be able to provide us that critical information that we needed. And again, like I mentioned this from the beginning, this was ways for us to be able to find ways to be able to provide supports better. That work of child protection continued throughout the entire process, but some societies needed more time. We granted that time to them. Just a few days ago, we received that report. We're in the process of reviewing it, and the findings will be made public.
So, Minister Calandra, is it a requirement that all child care centres install these barriers?
Well, look, we will work with them, as you know, shortly after, I will say, moments after we heard this. Minister Parsa and the Premier were literally on the phone with me almost immediately, and we took action later that day with respect to asking for vulnerable locations to close their parking lots. But yeah, obviously we're going to be changing the rules and the regulations with respect to ensuring that our parking lots are safe, and ultimately even the playgrounds are safe. There are many different childcare locations that require better safety and security. You know, some that have playgrounds adjacent to parking lots, frankly, and these concrete barriers will be the first step, but ultimately I think bollards are where we'll have to go, and updates to the Act to ensure that those types of safety measures are built into it.
Do all these centres have to apply and put a barrier in? Like, are you mandating this?
That'll be the goal, yes. Yeah.
So will the legislation be needed for that?
Probably, yeah.
But right now they're not required to.
No, right now they're not. But to be clear, like the centers, the sector really is saying, just give us a little bit of help, and we'll get that done. Some have already taken action really on their own. So it's whilst will there be legislative changes? Yes, but the sector has really moved very quickly on their own as well. So.
Last week about transferring English schools to Francophone school boards, and I was, we're hearing about the French education system, people who work in it that are concerned that they're getting schools that are, old schools from the English system to the French system, and they're, they think, well, are the schools not good enough for the English system, but good enough for the Francophone system? What's your comment to that?
Look, the schools that I'm talking about, the immediate ones are McDougall in the Parry Sound area, and another one in Sturgeon Falls. These are schools that the French board in that area have asked for. Look, we're going to utilize every asset that we have. I've been to the McDougall school. It is a beautiful school. It is will be a very nice addition. If new schools are required, then we'll build the new schools. It's not about giving a second-hand school to somebody. It's about making sure that every student has the ability to be educated as close to home as possible. The French system is growing very rapidly, and as they require new schools as well, we'll make that investment for them. So it's just the opposite. In that area, the French board has been waiting for that school, and they've been waiting for a long time. We have actually are prepared to support upgrades and renovations to that school. I think we've provided a $14 million fund to them to do that, and now that we're in control of that board, we'll make it happen.
With these concrete barriers added, have you come across daycare centers where they said, you know what, it's not appropriate or it doesn't work for the layout of our building? What do you do in those cases? Yeah,
there will be some like that. So we'll work with the sector, but that's where you're going to need bollards and different type of setups to make sure that they're safe, that every single center has the protection that is needed. But as I said, the sector has been not pretty good. They've been really good on this. They have. I know some, I don't want to say frustration, some worry when we went out immediately and said you have to close your parking lot or your parking spaces in front of windows and doors. But they did it. They have done what they had to do, and now we're stepping up to make sure that they have the help that they need to get it done permanently.
And with the legislation, when is that likely to happen?
Well, as I said, we're going to work with the sector. We're going to have some extensive consultations with them over the next couple of months, frankly. But I don't want to let anybody leave this without letting people know that the sector is really working on their own as well. So it's not like we're forcing them into anything. They have been coming through to us a lot and have been saying, like, we're ready to work with you. Just give us a hand, help us understand what is available to us. That's the work that we've done. That's why we're coming forward with some of the concrete barriers right now, some of the things that you see in other areas, parking lots or in the highway. And it's a good first step, but we'll work with them and we'll make sure that permanent solutions are available to them. Okay?
There was $400 million that were, promised to municipalities that had to put temporary measures to offset the speed cameras, and those are just signs. I'm assuming concrete is a lot more expensive than just signs, so $400 million and now $20 million just for those temporary measures. Are people not going to have a hard time believing that this is enough?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it again. It really is just, it's a start, right? This is to get out there as quickly as possible and get some of the most vulnerable locations handled as quickly as possible. And there will obviously be more funding that is going to be needed to ensure the safety of all our centres, and not only in places of worship and in plazas, but there might be some schools that have the same vulnerabilities. So there will be more money available through the budgeting process in the coming years. It's going to take a while to do every single centre that we have, but this is to get out there as quickly as possible and get in the most vulnerable locations protected. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good day.